Today's program is brought to you by pennystockprofessor.com. For all the best OTCBB stock picks, sign up at pennystockprofessor.com. Thank you for tuning in to another TBC Daily News Update. I'm Brandon Vincent.
And I'm Angelina Soriano.
The ongoing and deepening concern about Greece's ability to get its fiscal house in order is spilling over into the broader markets. One way to gauge the level of concern is to take a look at the spread between 10-year Greek bonds and comparable German bonds. German bonds are sort of like Treasury of the Eurozone. They're seen as the safest bet and are used as a benchmark. Earlier, the yield spread between 10-year Greek government bonds and the Eurozone benchmark German bonds flattened to 300 basis points. The spread closed at 268 basis points. Concern over Greece continues to highlight monetary strains in the Eurozone, and as a result, the euro is down about 1.2% versus the U.S. dollar. The dollar stands to be the biggest beneficiary of the weak euro, and the dollar is making a pretty significant surge higher as a result. The trade-weighted the dollar index went up about 1%.
In entertainment news, Lady Gaga and Robbie Williams are among the acts performing at the 2010 Brit Awards, Britain's answer to the Grammys, on February 16th. Also on stage for the show celebrating 30 years of the awards will be British boy band JLS, indie rockers Casbian, and a duo by grime artists Dizzy Rascal and Florence and the Machine.
In today's U.S. news, a little-known Republican shook up the balance of power in Washington by winning a U.S. Senate seat in Massachusetts, a result that imperils President Barack Obama's top legislative priorities and points to trouble for his party in this year's midterm elections. With 99% of the vote counted, Republican Scott Brown was leading his opponent, Democratic Attorney General Martha Coakley, 52% to 47%, which declared Mr. Brown the winner. Mr. Brown's come-from-behind victory gives Republicans their 41st senator, costing Democrats their 60-vote Senate majority and ensuring the minority has enough votes to block legislation. The White House and congressional leaders now must decide how to salvage their long-sought health care overhaul. Rushing the bill after losing Massachusetts carries many political risks, but so does letting it collapse.
In fashion today, animal rights group PETA has used the image of Michelle Obama without her consent on a new poster that praises the U.S. First Lady for not wearing fur. The poster features Michelle Obama, talk show host Oprah Winfrey and Tyra Banks, and the country singer Carrie Underwood under the headline, "Fur-Free and Fabulous." A spokeswoman for the First Lady confirmed that they did not consent to the poster, but also said that Michelle Obama did not wear fur. The American Red Cross is sending money, supplies, and staff to Haiti to support relief efforts there after an earthquake that caused catastrophic damage and loss of life. According to reports, as many as 3 million people have been affected by the quake, which collapsed government buildings and caused major damage to hospitals in the area. You can make a $10 donation by texting the word Haiti to 90999 or by calling 1-800-RED-CROSS.
Today's OTCBB Top 10 Volume Trading Stocks as of noon are Cord Blood Incorporated, CBAI, with 106 million shares, Cyberlux Corporation, CYBL, at 56 million shares, China Crescent Enterprises Incorporated, CCTR, with 19 million shares, Unico Incorporated, UNCO, with 17 million shares, Zevatech Incorporated, ZVTK, with 15 million shares, Options Media Group Holdings Incorporated, OPMG, at 13 million shares, Angel Acquisition Corporation, AGEL, at 11 million shares, Neo Media Technologies Incorporated, NEOM, at 9 million shares, Metafile International Incorporated, MDFI, at 9 million shares, and Remote Dynamics Incorporated, RMTD, at 7 million shares.
Have you been denied a credit card, car loan, mortgage, apartment rental, or even a cell phone? Your credit score is probably under 720. Change your score and change your financial future with Philip Tyrone's 7 Steps to a 720 Credit Score. We'll show you how to raise your credit score for free. In just weeks, this simple system can get you approved and save you money.
That knocked our interest rates down from 11% to 7%.
I ended up saving $2,500 a month.
The first 100 callers will get Philip Tyrone's groundbreaking book for free. Just pay processing. That's a $30 value, free. And if you call within the next 15 minutes, you'll get a free ticket to a phone-in seminar with Philip Tyrone himself. This exciting personal teleseminar will show you how to instantly improve your credit score and save money every month. Don't let a foreclosure, bankruptcy, missed payments, or short sale get in the way of your financial future.
Don't wait. To order, call 1-800-862-7840. That's 1-800-862-7840. Call now.
And now for today's financial news. U.S. stocks fell Wednesday as a reported tightening in China's monetary policy sparked concerns over how commodity demand may be impacted, while a bigger than expected drop in housing also weighed on the sentiment. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was down 159 points, or 1.5% in recent trading. International Business Machines was its worst performer, off 3.2%. The technology giant's fourth quarter profits rose 8.7%, more than analysts had estimated, and it forecast 2010 earnings above the consensus estimate. But investors had higher expectations. JP Morgan noted that implied year-over-year growth of 10% might seem conservative following 13% growth in 2009. Kraft Foods fell 2.3%, also weighing on the Dow, after Warren Buffett, the company's biggest investor, gave a big thumbs down to Kraft's deal to buy Cadbury for $19.44 billion. However, investors don't have a vote on the deal. Bank of America was among the Dow's few gainers after the company posted a fourth quarter loss of $194 million. The banking giant's revenue fell from trading sharply, but its mammoth consumer loan book showed signs of stabilizing. The S&P 500 share index was down 1.3%, with all its sectors in the red. Its technology, energy, industrial, and materials categories had the biggest declines. The tech-heavy NASDAQ Composite Index fell 1.7%.
Marriage reportedly benefits men more than women. Historically, marriage was the surest route to financial security for women. Nowadays, it's men who are increasingly getting the biggest economic boost from tying the knot. The changes reflect the proliferation of working wives over the past 40 years. This period in which American women outpaced men in both education and income exceed their own, and a larger share of women are married to men with less education and income. In the past, when relatively few wives worked, marriage enhanced the economic status of women more than that of men. In recent decades, the economic gains associated with marriage have been greater for men. One barometer is median household income, which rose 60% between 1970 and 2007 for married men, married women, and unmarried women, but only 16% for unmarried men, according to the Pew data. The report focused on U.S.-born men and women aged 30 to 44, a stage when typical adults have finished their education, married, and launched careers. The report noted that today's Americans in this age group are the first such cohort in U.S. history to include more women than men with college degrees. In 1970, according to the report, 28% of wives in this age range had husbands who were better educated than they were, outnumbering the 20% whose husbands had less education. By 2007, these patterns had reversed. Only 19% of wives had husbands with more education, compared with 28% whose husbands had less education. In the remaining couples, about half in 1970 and 2007, their spouses had similar education levels. Only 4% of husbands had wives who earned more than they did in 1970, compared with 22% in 2007. During that span, women's earnings grew 44%, compared with 6% growth for men, although a gender gap remains. According to 2009 Census Bureau figures, women with full-time jobs earned salaries equal to 77.9% of what men earned, compared with 52% in 1970. The researchers noted that the economic downturn is reinforcing the gender reversal trends, with men losing jobs more often than women. The trends also reflected the fact that many husbands no longer feel compelled to be their family's sole breadwinner and are embracing a bigger share of household responsibilities and child raising. The report found that unmarried women in 2007 had higher household incomes than their 1970 counterparts at each level of education, while unmarried men without post-secondary education lost ground because their real earnings decreased and they didn't have a wife's wages to offset that decline. Unmarried men with college degrees made income gains of 15%, but were outpaced by the 28% gains of unmarried women with degrees. The shifts in earnings capacity coincided with a marked decline in the share of Americans who are married. Among U.S.-born 30 to 44-year-olds, 60% were married in 2007, compared with 84% in 1970. For African Americans, the rates were even lower. 33% of black women and 44% of black men were married in 2007.
Thank you for tuning in to another TBC Daily News Update. I'm Brandon Vincent.
And I'm Angelina Soriano.